Hello, everybody. I'm Professor Davis Chaco, and we'll be having a small session today on job design. Now, the core concepts that you have to be clear with over here is number one, the definition of job design, obviously. Then you'll also have to be clear about job description and job specification and the difference between the two. Now, we'll start off with job design and what it actually means. Now, what you're looking at is it's basically the contents of a job. Now, job responsibilities, job duties, whatever a person is supposed to be doing is within the job design. What you're looking at with respect to making a good job design is to ensure that your employee is at his or her happiest. The main techniques that we use for job design is number one, job rotation, which is the most commonly used one, job enrichment, job enlargement, and job simplification. Now, job simplification is when you actually break down the work into smaller bits such that a person can actually work on it a lot easier. Job rotation is slightly more complicated. Now, imagine a situation where you have a person who's in charge of coding, another person who's in charge of quality analysis, and another person in charge of business analysis. Job rotation only looks at, say, person A who's actually doing, say, quality analysis today. He would be taking care of coding the next day, and the day after that, he would be taking care of business analysis. What we're looking at is each person has a chance to do every other kind of work. For the employee, it's important simply because a person would be able to do much more or different kinds of tasks such that they will get overall more learning. For the employer, how it's important is it makes sure that no particular employee is indispensable, which means you are in a dangerous situation if you have only one person who knows coding and he just walks up to you one day and says that I'm going to quit. At that point of time, whatever he asks for, if he asks for a bigger pay or a transfer or anything at all he asks for, you are bound to do it because he's the only person who knows to do that in your company. If he leaves, the whole company might actually crash, or at least a project might be stalled. So, to avoid that, people use job rotation, wherein even if this particular person wants to leave because of some particular reason, you do have another person who can actually come in and fill in for him. Obviously, it might not be as good as the specialist. However, the show can go on, and that's a core thing that we're looking at in terms of job rotation. Job enrichment and job enlargement are similar. However, the core differences are with respect to depth and number of tasks. When you're looking at job enlargement, you're mainly looking at the same task, but you're doing more number of it. It can be by way of taking up more tasks because you have more freedom to do it in a different way or in any way that you like to. However, job enrichment is talking about changing the actual depth of what you're doing, which means earlier, if you were in charge of only quality analysis, you'd get a chance to actually be part of the development phase too. Or if you were a developer earlier, you get a chance to actually speak to your clients and actually find out, okay, what is it that this person really wants? And on the basis of that, you would be able to create a better program or do something which will actually make the final client a lot more happier. This is a win-win situation for both the employer and the employee in consideration. The next few slides are basically explanations of job rotation and enlargement enrichment. Now you'd see a diagram next which explains very clearly the difference between job enrichment and job enlargement. When we're looking at in terms of job enrichment, it is focusing on depth and picking up more tasks, whereas job enlargement is picking up more number of the same tasks. So this is it with regards to job design. Now you can understand with respect to the next diagram the various factors involved: organizational factors, things that are involved within the company, environmental factors around the company, and obviously the behavioral factors which are the people themselves. Now, all of this contribute to job design, and they would lead to a happy employee. Now, the feedback loop exists in many management concepts where you have to understand that even though the whole process does get done, you always have to ask yourself, is there any way that I could have done this better? If the answer is yes, then that feedback loop goes all the way to the start, and then that new change is implemented. Once that is done, at the end, you'll again ask yourself, could I have done this any better? You'd implement that recommendation or that changes too. Job description and job specification, understand it's primarily to do with one, the data relating to the job, which is basically what you'd see in your newspaper advertisement. If you are to look at it, you'd find your job title, location, summary, who your boss is going to be possibly, and even your salary. However, the easiest way to look at job specification is to understand that this is something that leads to not the job, but the skill set within an employee which enables him or her to advance in his career. Or simply said, if you are to be promoted, what are the things that you might need? It might be skill set, it might be experience, it might be additional training, it might be anything that will make you advance to the next stage of your career. These are the core concepts that you have to be clear with. I hope you are perfectly clear with all of them. In case you do have any doubts, by all means, you can just drop in a message in the comment section of this video. And if at all you do need to drop me a personal message, if you're already connected to me, you can just drop me a message on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to answer anything at all. If possible, I'll try to reply within a 24-hour delay itself. Otherwise, maximum 48 hours I should be able to reply. So that's it for today. Hope all of you actually enjoyed the session. In case you have anything at all, feel free to put in your suggestions or recommendations or anything at all. Thank you so much.